Billions of dollars are being spent in our country's prison systems. To be specific, the United States spends about $52 billion in the prison systems. As taxpayers, our money is being spent on these expenses. If we could cut prison overcrowding down, we could save millions of dollars, and that money could be put to better use. The overcrowding in prisons across America has caused many problems within the government and within the prison systems themselves. With prisons being overcrowded, there's a lot of money being put into them, and that is coming out of the tax-paying Americans' pocket. Also, with there being more inmates in some prisons than they're able to hold, facilities are subpar at best. Since we pay taxes to the government uses those taxes to fund things like prison systems. If there was less people in prisons, then our money could be spent better elsewhere. I will go over generally our prison systems, the overcrowding happening in them, and how we can help the prisoners get out and lead better lives. I will start with prison overcrowding in the United States. With so many people in prisons, there's a lot of money going in to care for them, like I said. There was a lot of money being spent on people to work in them, providing basic services for them to run smoothly as well. If there were less people in prisons across America, there would be less taxpayer money going into them. There are a lot of people in jail just awaiting their trial, most of whom are there for nonviolent traffic, property, drug, or other public offenses. An article titled "From the Front Line, A Criminal Justice System is Getting a Front-End Makeover" says. The article titled "Crime and Justice Policy" says that after the economic meltdown in 2008, states were reeling in debt. And one of the questions at the forefront of this crisis was how to better spend public dollars to reduce the never-ending cycle of criminal recidivism. Holding people in prisons that don't necessarily need to be in there for traffic violations is just a waste of space and resources like our taxes. And I believe that is a problem that has an easy workaround. There are many jails around the country that are also operating at or over their full capacity. In 2015, 6,000 inmates were released 18 months prematurely to their scheduled release date because they need them to make more room for prisoners incoming. A big hardship also with the American incarceration system is how ex-cons were treated once they were released back into society. They aren't employed because of their history, and while that is understandable, it doesn't help them in any way. If ex-cons can't retain a job or get a stable job, then they will very likely relate back to their old ways and possibly, very likely, just end up back in prison. An article titled "What's Going On with Prison Reform in America" says the New Jersey Democratic Laws Company, like Starbucks, Walmart, Home Depot, and Target, are trying to change their hiring practices so that they can give people with criminal records a chance at a job. Mark Zuckerberg has visited the San Quentin prison where they have inmates learning computer coding so that when they get out, they will have transferable skills into a job that they can land. Now that we have an understanding of prison overcrowding, let's talk how we can reduce those rates. If prisons could be focused on helping inmates better themselves for when they are released and leading better lives, then we wouldn't have as many people in them to overcrowd. Earlier this year, the Massachusetts Department of Correction created a system for prisoners to have a chance to gain learning experiences while they are incarcerated so that they can have transferable skills for a job when they are let out. An article titled "Massachusetts Prisoner Launch Tech-Enabled Education Program to Reduce Recidivism" explains how the Massachusetts Department of Correction is going about this new initiative. The American Prison Data System works with prisoners to create an education plan tailored to them so that they can focus on what they want to learn and get a job that they would like to have when they are out. Something else to consider about prisoners being incarcerated longer than they need to is the mental health of them. This chart is a graph of how many, by the 100,000s, that each country has, with America leading the way by a significant amount. A study by Dr. Natty Connell, an assistant professor of criminology in the School of Economic, Political, and Policy Science, analyzed data from 18,000 inmates in state and local facilities. The study was published in the American Journal of Public Health. The study found that most prison facilities' screening process for mental health disorders are not very in-depth. The article states that, for example, the study found that inmates with schizophrenia, which can lead to erratic behavior, are twice as likely to receive the same type of medication as inmates that show signs of depression. The article also added that, however, it is not due to the prison's fault, they are just simply working with what they have. Helping and treating the mental health disorders of prisoners is not only making their time in prison more bearable, but is also helping them gain more mental stability when they are out so that they don't have to return to prisons. Now, I get that you guys might not agree with me on this topic at all, so let me address that. I understand that prison is there for a reason. I don't deny that people shouldn't pay for their wrongdoings or serve time. I am more focused on helping people that have gone down the wrong path in life, and we can help them lead better lives so that they don't have to live this way anymore. We have people in our prison systems that have gone down the wrong path, and with help of others, they can change their ways and lead better lives. I understand that it is not in any way a good idea to let someone like a terrorist or a serial killer go prematurely or at all for that reason. I feel it's important to help those who are significantly less detrimental to our societies make better decisions and lead better lives once they are out. I wholeheartedly believe that imprisonment and correctional facilities are important to keep our society safe. I do not condone letting persons out of the prisons who are still potentially dangerous to our society. I am just proposing that we change the system, that we help these people lead better lives so that we can have a better, safer society. Now that I've had a chance to explain myself, let me tell you why and how I believe we can make a change to our system. People who are serving have obviously done wrong, but that doesn't mean that they have to go back to the way of life. I believe that helping people change their way of life and getting on a track to a better life will help reduce the recidivism rate in our country. Donald Lee says, from his article titled Correction Course, The Benefits of Prison Education, published in the American Press, he says, if society wants to reduce the number of people victimized by crime, reason dictates that an inmate's time in prison should be used to correct antisocial behaviors that put him or her in there in the first place. Only by lowering recidivism rates will our criminal justice system protect citizens and lessen the fiscal burdens incarceration imposes upon taxpayers. If we could just focus on getting people out and leading better lives, there wouldn't be an overcrowding problem. Also, a reason with some people being a problem with people being in prisons for so long is that half of the 2.5 million people in prison have parents of minor children. So helping them get back on and lead a better path onto life will help them provide for their family and get reunited with them. To close, prison overcrowding is a real big issue in our country, and is something that can be fixed. There are serious problems with overcrowding in prisons. There are ways to prevent those problems as well. We do not have to let serious offenders go, and we can help those who wish to lead a better life. Finally, we can reduce overcrowding in prisons and even improve our own society by helping inmates on a path towards a better life, a better future, and a better society. Thank you.
Excellent. Professor Feder, I just wanted you to see our audience is all over there today.
Yeah.
In case you worried about the eye contact, there's no one over here. So just wanted to give you a heads up.